Drawing the prong. By the way, you will hear that a lot. If you're in a CAD modeling environment, frequently instead of saying modeling the prong, they'll say draw the prong. And rather than say the prong, they'll say the part. Draw the part. We're going to draw this part. I want to use the dimensions here of this top cap as my starting point. So I'm going to duplicate its edge. See that there's a gap there. Make sure I close that up. And then I'm going to hit enter. And then I'm going to join those two curves together. So they're one closed curve. I'm going to set my C-plane to my prong top. I'm going to turn off my reference prong. Okay. All I need is this circle to start with here. I'm going to go to my line tool. 0 is my starting point. Both sides, shift key, make it too long. Curve tool, offset, through point, both sides. Quad snap. Going to draw another curve from the quadrant, both sides, shift to lock ortho, and then fillet curve set to 0 to tidy up the drawing. And trim. And trim. And join. That gives me the top of my prong. For the bottom of my prong, set my C-plane to the bottom here, prong bottom. Duplicate my edge. That one I got all the way around first time, that's good. Enter. Draw me a curve from the center, both sides, offset. Actually, that would be incorrect. We need two things here at the bottom. Okay? This is the width of the prong from front to back. But the width of the prong from side to side was determined from this maquette. So I need to extract this curve as well. Okay. Straight line, 0, both sides, shift. Offset. Through point, both sides, quad. Another, starting from 0. Offset, through point, quad. Okay. So we have the width, we have the end. Now we need to move this, because we need a circle here at the back. I'm just going to move the one we already have from quad to quad. And trim. Enter. Join. Fillet. And delete. And so we can see how this relates to our setup. It's the right, I got to join that together. It's the right setup. You can see that it's the right width here, but it's far too deep compared to this prong maquette. But for our other tapered prong maquette, It is the proper depth, but too thin, which is exactly what we want. Turn off our maquettes. Bring back our curves. Now, we have all kinds of curves we can use here if this prong decides to give us trouble. But we're going to hope for simplicity and just do a single rail sweep. Surface Tools, sweep one rail. There's the rail. First section, second section. Enter. You want to move the points to the end corner if they're not there already. Rhino assigns that somewhat arbitrarily. Enter. And it looks good. Last step would be to cap planar holes. Okay, Rhino doesn't think those are caps, that those are flat. They are. So, take this curve, planar surface, take this curve, planar surface, and join it together. Joined into one closed polysurface. Take our curves, group them, put them into storage, and our stone. You see we have a nice accurate bite. Top C-plane for the rotate. For the array. Array at 0, 4 copies, please. There we go. Okay. And gives us a good basic set of prongs. That's where they would be cut off to accommodate the finger bore. And if we were going to do an under bezel for these, we would have our choice. We could make the under bezel using the front C-plane or the front 45. I would actually pick the front 45. I like to keep all of my curves related to each other. So if I'm going to do a under bezel, curve tool, circle center radius, absolutely anywhere, diameter 1. Move it into position, kind of, and do a pipe, not a pipe, I'm sorry, a revolve with history. Revolve axis is 0, straight up, like a lathe. Start angle 0, revolution angle 360, just accept the defaults. Bring back my prongs. and then move. Now there are a couple of things that we want this criteria we want this to meet. We want, by the way, the history updates whether it's the layers on or off. We want this to come so that the top line is about 1/3 of the way down the pavilion. So the top edge of this should be, that's about right. And we want it to act as a seat for the stone, so we want it to touch the stone at least. And personally, I prefer it if it bites in a little bit. But we also want to have enough of a bite into the prong that we have a good solid assembly. Okay. Actually, it's not splitting up the pavilion the way I'd like. It needs to be higher, which is a good thing because it's not biting into the prongs enough. I'm going to move it straight up to get the elevation to where I want it. That's about where I would like it to be. And move it back out using the shift key so that ortho's maintained. So it stays at the right elevation, just biting into the the pavilion a little bit. That's good. I want to look at the top, make sure I don't see it from the top. I don't. In fact, it's worth going into the top view and verifying. It's not there, so we're good. And that's okay. That's a functional underbezel. Okay. The gallery wire would be made doing the same process. Copy, paste, move it down here somewhere. Pipe. I keep saying pipe. Revolve with history. Revolve axis at 0, shift key, straight up, click, 0, 360, we're done. And this is the same idea. So again, I can just turn those off. I can even turn off the surface itself. And just position this wire. I know I want it to line up pretty much with the elevation of the ring bore. And this outer set of curves gives me a good idea of how much it's biting in. I want it to bite in at least as much as the underbezel. The gallery wire, or finger rest, is actually really important to the strength of the setting, so I'll have it bite in more. Plus I would like to have a nice opening for light at the bottom. Go ahead and change this layer so they're on the same. Bring up my prongs, check and see what I have. That's a decent setting. The final stage would be to bow this wire so that it follows the finger bore. That is too much for this one video, so we're not going to do that. But this gives you a good idea of how to use C-planes that you've set up to facilitate making accurate models in location. Alright, thanks for watching.